It began quietly, like every ordinary evening in the suburbs, families settling down, televisions humming, news anchors smiling beneath studio lights. Then, at exactly 9:47, the broadcast changed. The screen flickered once, an amber surge, and the words, "Emergency Alert," pulsed over an unfamiliar tone that clawed through the stillness of the air. At first, most believed it was a storm warning, the usual weather crisis. But no location was listed, no state, no reason, just a monotonous voice repeating a message that didn't match any known language. Viewers froze, staring, as symbols began scrolling along the lower third of the screen, shifting faster than comprehension allowed. Across the country, reports flooded social media. Cell towers jammed, digital clocks reset to zeros, and televisions refused to power down. It wasn't one network, it was all of them. Cable, satellite, even streaming services mirrored the same hypnotic cascade of sound and unreadable text. Some who recorded it said they heard whispers layered beneath the static. A dozen different voices, speaking names that didn't exist in any government registry. Those brave enough to slow the footage frame by frame uncovered what looked like distorted faces, forming for fractions of a second and then melting back into the noise. Government's emergency broadcast system denied involvement. They issued no alerts that night, claiming no anomalies in their logs. Yet engineers from multiple networks confirmed something had overridden the signal at a hardware level, forcing transmission even when power was disconnected. Residents in several towns reported lights dimming exactly when the broadcast hit. Street lamps flickered like strobe lights synchronized with the strange frequency. Pets hid, sirens failed, and electrical meters spun uncontrollably, as if reality itself was being rewritten moment by moment. In a small Arizona town, one man claimed the broadcast predicted his death. He streamed his reaction, laughing nervously as he repeated what he saw, a line of text flashing his full name and a date. 2 hours later, his car was found overturned near an abandoned service road. Experts in cryptography were tasked with decoding the broadcast's strange symbols. Some said it resembled a cipher built from dead alphabets, Aramaic fused with machine code. Others believed it was something beyond human design, like the language of the signal itself was sentient. Conspiracy theorists suggested the message originated from a satellite long considered defunct. Its orbit matched none in the current registry. Amateur astronomers tracked a pulsing light in the upper atmosphere, rotating perfectly in sync with the transmission's frequency bands. Those near broadcast towers described hearing an electronic rumble that made their bones ache. Radios turned themselves on, spitting bursts of fragmented data before hissing into silence. Emergency personnel were dispatched but couldn't locate a single technical failure at any facility. The tone recorded for that night had a mathematical structure impossible for analog equipment. It resonated at precise intervals of 47.8 seconds, then repeated backwards. Acousticians noted it could alter human heart rates, amplifying fear and confusion almost biologically. The next morning, local news attempted to downplay the event as a technical glitch. But archives of every original broadcast vanished overnight. Public servers were scrubbed, drives corrupted, and witnesses reported men in plain suits visiting homes, confiscating recordings under silent authority. In the Midwest, a power station engineer leaked that an unknown current spike coincided with the broadcast. He described it as a pulse entering their grid from an undefined origin. Moments later, all the logs he posted disappeared, and his account was suspended without explanation. Psychologists called it mass hysteria, a collective panic rooted in digital overexposure. Yet those who had seen the broadcast continued hearing that tone in their dreams. Some claimed streetlights flickered in rhythm whenever they walked alone. It became personal, invasive, almost intimate. Scientists tried recreating the signal in laboratories. Every attempt ended with the same outcome: hardware burnouts, corrupted firmware, uncontrollable frequency spikes. It was as if the signal rejected imitation, behaving more like a living organism defending itself. Rumors spread that deep inside a classified bunker, the government isolated the original EM recording. Security clearance files referred to it only as Event 94. What the officials saw inside the data hasn't been disclosed, but confidence among them fractured, with several resignations the following week. An Oldham radio operator said he intercepted a softer version of the message before it hit national channels. He noted a phrase repeating in English, "Not for you." He never shared the tape publicly, claiming every duplication attempt erased itself, even when saved offline. Weeks later, private broadcasters documented faint echoes of the same signal at random intervals. It appeared at 3:14 a.m. in one state, then at dawn in another, haunting, fragmented, yet undeniably identical in sound texture. Tracing it became like chasing a ghost through static. Online investigators created spectral images from the transmission's audio. Within the wave patterns formed what resembled coordinates, middle of the North Atlantic, no landmass nearby. Boats were sent to that point, only to encounter interference that crashed every piece of onboard electronics. Then came the second broadcast. Shorter, colder. No voice this time, only silent footage of empty streets, recognizable, but lifeless. Observers identified these places as cities that existed but were completely dark in their presentation, as though filmed from a parallel stillness. Cyber forensic teams traced the packet origin to an IP range that didn't exist before that night. A phantom network that routed through itself endlessly, looping data like an Ouroboros. Even hardware models used for testing began emitting low hums matching the signal's pitch. Religious groups labeled the event a sign, broadcast from purgatory or from entities beyond our comprehension. Scientists balked, but none could deny that those who decoded the sound spectrum reported hallucinations of vast landscapes of light and shadow existing behind the frequencies. Through whistleblower leaks, fragments of internal memos revealed that 3 analysts stationed at the emergency broadcast center disappeared. Their ID badges were found near servers emitting faint warmth despite total power cutoff. No trace of biological material remained. Meanwhile, civilians uploaded snatches of the tone under cryptic titles, assuming online fame. But slowly, their accounts started vanishing, their device microphones stuck open, recording, transmitting nothing but deep static hums that lined up perfectly with the original event timing. Academics now refer to it as the broadcast paradox, a self-generating event whose purpose seems only to observe those who observe it. The more people investigated, the more anomalies multiplied, repeating sounds in background noise, subtle distortions in reflections, déjà vu in conversation. Journalists compared testimonies of those affected. A consistent detail emerged. During the transmission, everyone felt watched not through the screen, but through their own eyes, as if perception reversed. It gave the sense that something unseen was looking out from behind human consciousness itself. A small group of signal specialists attempted a live decryption session. The feed failed 33 seconds in, replaced by a single line of text, "Signal received." Every piece of connected hardware spontaneously disconnected afterward, and their lab remained sealed under federal order. Since then, no official station dared acknowledge the broadcast directly. Every mention in televised programming gets cut mid-air, replaced by public service disclaimers. But late-night viewers sometimes capture frame glitches, harmless static, until the face of the old news anchor reappears for a blink. Some theories insist it was a test for mass psychological manipulation. Others whisper that it was something far older, using humanity's digital web to breathe through frequencies. Strangely, after each retelling, a sliver of that tone echoes faintly through audio devices worldwide. The archived emergency protocol documents still list one unaccessed file named unknown feed_947. Encrypted under obsolete security architecture, embedded with timestamps that never existed in coordinated universal time. Attempts to open it return a single system log, user already connected. Viewers continue reporting disturbances decades later, household devices toggling themselves on, machines replaying fragments of that original voice. Some wake to find their televisions frozen on the word "wait," glowing gently as though pulsing with a heartbeat. No one truly knows what message was meant to be delivered, or to whom. But the growing theory suggests something reached across the boundaries we understand as signal integrity. Perhaps it was never an error, perhaps it was acknowledgement that some frequency within us finally responded. Those who study quantum anomalies describe the broadcast as a self-aware waveform. It wasn't sent, it manifested, using every connected device as eyes and ears, reminding us our world's logic is fragile. The moment it touched our screens, it rewrote what we considered separation between code and consciousness. And now, as you hear this, check your surroundings. Any hum, any flicker, could be the echo returning. Because according to one declassified audio analysis, the signal never ended, it merely waits for new observers to tune in again. So if the tone begins to rise behind this very narration, remember, it's not part of the video. It's the broadcast finding a new carrier frequency, chasing the next signal of human curiosity. And maybe, just maybe, it was never a warning at all, but an invitation.